Jed's Moto Nation. Thanks for tuning back in for another episode of the Honda Insight Turbo Build, and today we're going to be doing something a little more exciting. It's a little warmer today. It's like 22 degrees. I'm in a hoodie. I'm not freezing my keister off. Still cold. My hands are still going to bind up a little bit, but today we're going to do an easy one. I'm not going to get into the car. I'm not going to get frozen on the frozen ground. FMU. This is a fuel management unit, AKA fuel line return kinker. It's really simple setup. So right here we've got, this one goes to the intake manifold. This is a vacuum line. And this goes from the FMU back to the tank, or from your stock fuel pressure regulator back to the tank. So it just boop, 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 boop. It's like a T-in. And what happens is, as boost builds up on this nipple, there's a diaphragm and spring in here, and it slowly restricts the amount of pressure, or kinks basically the fuel line return. So what it does is it builds fuel pressure in the fuel line. So we got plenty of fuel line here, and we're gonna set this up. It's just basic. Just plug it in and go, and we're gonna do that today. And this is for stage one, basically. If you're gonna do stage one, cheap setup, not cheap, but like just get the car running setup. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go eventually with fuel injection management as I increase the boost, but I think the goal will be like 3 to 5 pounds. This is your unit. A lot of guys run these. A lot of the guys that have turbocharged their Insights run these and have run them for hundreds of thousands of miles, and there's no issues. It's a simple, easy, reliable little setup. All it does is push more pressure into the fuel rail, which pushes more pressure against the injector, which makes it squirt more fuel. Nothing software wise. I don't know why they call it FMU. You'd think it's like, oh, it's electronic management unit. No, dude, it's seriously a diaphragm that pinches your return line to your fuel tank and increases your fuel pressure. Now there is a ratio to like how much pressure goes into this by how much it binds the fuel pressure up, but there's only a maximum that little teeny injectors can handle and withstand on this Insight. So but this is definitely a good sure way. It's not hard, it's hardware. So if you have a software issue or electronic issue, and your injector ECU or your injector controller doesn't fire up because of voltage or something, which can happen with these cars, especially if you go IMA-less, just doesn't, your meanwhile PSU doesn't supply enough voltage. It can, like, sometimes things won't turn on. This is a good backup, and who knows, maybe I'll like be satisfied with this. Probably not. But this is what we're going to install today. This is a really simple unit. We'll do another whole episode on just on fuel injection, but this is where we're at. So let's find a home on this car, plumb it in, and go from there. Okay, folks. So here's the FMU. It's pretty easy. So this one goes to vacuum or boost. This one goes to fuel line in, or this is fuel line in. This is fuel line out. So I could just cut it right here, right? Just get some clamps and put it in, but it's going to be kind of flopping all over the place. So we can either put it on the engine, or we could just put it like up here. That goes off. This is the stock fuel pressure regulator. So basically that pressurizes the line. This keeps regulation just by a vacuum. I'm guessing it's still going to work with boost. I know a lot of guys keep these and still run them, so I'm going to just run it. If it stops working, then we'll address that when we get down the road. But I'm going to just tee into this line, or maybe have this tee into this, go right off this line. This is the vacuum line off the intake manifold. As you can tell, the intake manifold's off because we're still working on the oil. And run it up. And I'll probably also put in a T, since the car isn't running. I'll probably put another T in that's going to end up going into the firewall, because that's going to be for the boost gauge. That's going to be for another episode. But that's basically it. So let's get this going. And this will go on to FMU, Field Management Unit. So stupid. It just makes it sound like it's something sophisticated, but it's really not. Yeah, it'll slip right on the barbs. I'll push that up. I'm going to put some grease on it. But first we're going to install, and then I'll clip in and put a T in so that we can, utilize this for the gauge. Alright, temp 3. How many times can you do this? That's all, dudes. Not going anywhere. Where are you going? Nowhere. Okay, so that line's gonna go there. That line's gonna go there. Figure out where to cut it. Let's get this vacuum line on all the way. There we go. That's on all the way. That's really nice, actually. Okay. And then we need to get hose clamps. So that's going to go there. That's going to go there. That is where I want to cut it, right? And you're going to get fuel everywhere. That's okay. Or not. That goes right there. Yeah, and that will go right there. Huh. Beauteous. Let's get hose clamps. Let's go put these on. Get the hose clamps on. So, really important to get these hose clamps on the right size because this puppy's going to get really pressurized. This whole area is going to get pressurized. Of course, it's all going to be pressurized. That went right on. It won't come off. Isn't that funny? Come on. Oh, all right. Woo-wee. And there's that. Went right on. Doesn't like go off those, so that's good. JIS action. All right. Bam. That's nice. It's on there. Let's see if it leaks. But it shouldn't. But we'll see. Okay. Cool. Alright. And while we're here, let's tee this so we're all set. And then we'll add zip ties to everything. Bunch it up. Alright. This will be for a boost gauge. So I want to go over here. Maybe, actually. Right here. And then we'll do the boost gauge tie-in another time. Let's go on the other side. This may seem funny, but they do hold. I have done this on the drag strip a few times, more times than I want to admit, but it does work. It will hold. I just lose all my zip ties. Everything's like really tough. It wants to bend right back because it's really cold today. In the shade, it's probably still like 15 degrees. Better than yesterday, though. Rather than the other day when I was working on that oil line. Oh my goodness, I really just wanted to call it quits for the day. I was not having it. There we go. Little last clicks. And clean them up. Let's do the 3 here. Looks like the neighbor got a dog. She's beating it already. Wow. Yeah, well, I think I'm a redneck. There's some units around here, I tell you what. Right. Let's get this going. Nice click, click. See, that is on there. Later. See things popping off, and I don't think I'm going to be running 18 pounds of loose, which usually causes these things to come loose, but I'd rather just be safe. Better safe than sorry. Nice click. Not my first rodeo, I tell you what, with these vacuum lines. Just, it's no fun when they go flying. No fun. Daytona, I remember. Ugh. Drag strip, I'm like ripping, and all of a sudden, whoa, 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 my boost gauge stopped working. I'm like, ah, that's not good. Find a leak. Zip tie her shut. Worked fine after that. Zip ties, man. They're probably the best invention ever. There. One last click. And oh, you didn't. You're not. There we go. That's where I want you, right there, bub. All right, that's on there. There we go. All right. See what happened here. You can see I teed off the stock nipple on the intake manifold. So this is going to be the main pressure telling me what's going on post throttle body, which is really important. And then so this goes up, tees right into the stock vacuum line for the stock fuel pressure regulator. And then this goes right up. This is going to be a T for my boost gauge, and eventually for my map sensor for the fuel injection controller when I get to that. Right now we're just doing FMU, of course. I probably could just use this off the FMU too. And then this is the FMU. It's installed in. So we've got fuel line in. This is your in. This goes from the stock fuel pressure regulator. It goes all the way in. This is your return back to the fuel tank. You can kind of also tell it's the return because it's not as beefy. So, so this goes back, tees in here, And then this is where the boost builds up. The diaphragm moves, creates pressure, builds more pressure in this line, and so it lets less fuel back. So you're building the pressure out of the fuel pump. So, and then this, of course, builds up on the fuel rail, builds pressure. Your injectors, which are up here, will start to have more fuel delivered, although they'll still pulse the same like they're supposed to, and you'll get more fuel into the cylinder. So this seems to be the best for, like, you know, stage 1. So that's what we're doing, stage 1. So that's your FMU. Okay, well, that is a win. We got the FMU in the car. That was an easy install. It was nice to do something easy today and, you know, feel accomplished. And, you know, I did that in 30 minutes. Not hard to do. So that's all set. So we're going to move on to gauges next, I think, as we still wait for parts to come in for the oiling system, which was a challenge all in itself. But with that, I mean, we're looking really good. Feeling comfortable now with the FMU in. I feel like I'm starting to get over the hump here. You know, it's just the fabrication end of it. It's just been really killer, which is fine. It's just, you got to work through it sometimes. But we're getting there. It's a little warmer today. Like I said, I've been in my hoodie all morning. It's, I think, got to be warming up. Let's see what the temp is today. Oh yeah, we got a scorcher today. It's up to 26. We're up 26 degrees. Scorcher. It might get up to 30. Wow. It might melt some of the stupid snow I'm sick of looking at. So, yeah, I mean, the snow's nice. I live in Vermont. It's nice to have it. Christmas time, all that stuff. But dude, by February, it's like, get out. Get out. So, anyways, that's all I got for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. And if you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to move forward to the gauges now. And, yeah. And hopefully that one's not going to take 30 minutes. That's going to probably take a couple hours. So we'll see how it goes. All right.